Hi guys, it's Terry here from the PGSC, and I thought we'd just introduce the new series that I'm going to be hopefully doing for you guys, which is going to be tentatively named Current Meta Rising Dragon, where I'll showcase my take on the Dragon Link deck, me versus the Dueling Book, less sort of ranked ladder, probably in a less sort of goal-oriented way, such as Shamal's Infinite Noble Knight versus the World video, where you're sort of aiming to go to 1,000 rating. I just thought it'd be a bit more informative to like maybe to show some replays, show my profile, show some of the advantages to possibly my deck profile, some of the disadvantages, just some plays you might not see, and just hopefully to make myself a better Dragonlance player by reviewing all these, and hopefully some of you guys better Dragonlance players as well. So we'll just start off like similar to Shamal, just with the sort of deck profile up front. It hasn't really changed much from the combo tutorial slash deck profile video we posted a couple of days ago. I'll put a sort of like a link or a tag somewhere there if you've missed it. The only real changes has been that I bumped it to 50 because it was 49 for some reason because I was an idiot. And it was changing the chalices into imperms, which is the only hand trap I choose to run, as I, for my own personal playstyle, prefer having as many extenders, the sort of like all gas, no brakes kind of thing, bar imperm, because it's a very impactful hand trap if you know the deck you're playing against, and also it doesn't, it can't be like used. Basically, it doesn't allow your opponent to use talents, which is again a nice thing. Yeah, so I'll guess we'll get into some games right now. We'll start off with this one. Press play, next play. So this is, I think, me going against Emancipator. I'll pause the pan. So I open up with White Rose, Noctivision, Abs, Quick Launch, and Collapse Serpent. Like as an opening as a going first hand, this is pretty decent. We have the quick launch as an extender or a starter. Well, not a starter, but a nice extender. We have the Black Dragon, which will become live after we go into the link cross. We have both Abs and Nocto. Nocto being the better extender in this situation because we've opened the White Rose for the normal summon, but pretty decent hand. And then my opponent has opened up the Researcher, Guardian, Supplier, Signs, and Gamma. I mean, which is again a pretty decent hand. You have the Guardian, you have the Researcher to special summon off it, so you can protect yourself from hand traps. Reborn, which is quite nice, and the Supplier, which can chain block certain things. So this is the first time I've actually played against Emancipator since the list, and I know Block Dragon is a thing anymore, but people are still obviously trying to innovate the deck, keep it going, and we'll see what he ends on. So I'll just press play. So he summons the Guardian, not a big surprise. Uh, Summons out the Researcher. He hits the Revival Golem, which isn't too bad. Goes into the Hulk. Chain blocks with Supplier, does Chainlink 2, Hulk is 1, getting out the Seeker, and triggering the Supplier, getting himself another Guardian. We go for the Link Cross, gets 2 tokens. Goes to the Metal Marcher, gets back the Researcher. Goes for Cyber Integrator, and then goes for the Rap Titan to get to draw off the Integrator as well, drawing Miracle Rupture, which is pretty nice. He goes for Signs, bringing back the Seeker, which he hasn't used yet, and then stacking, I believe, Doki Doki. Yep. Goes into a Verte. Obviously, he stacks it. He goes for the Doki. Discards to go for the Analyzer. Goes into Savage. He goes for Seeker. Hits another hits another Guardian. I mean, bit redundant, but might as well get another body on board. Goes for the IP, goes for the Analyzer. I think he's just trying to clear up space and get as many hits as possible. Goes for the Doki Doki again. And then he goes for the Granite, I think, just to get himself a Researcher so he's set up for next turn in case I break the board. And goes for an Appaloosa for 3. and goes for the Anaconda for Red Eyes Fusion. Yeah. So, I mean, looking at this board, you can definitely, looking at my hand, he has what, one, two, three, four, five interruptions, and I have six. I have six cards, but like I have a fair decent amount of senders. You'll watch me push through this board as best I can. I do make, from what I remember, I make quite a misplay, or a misplay that sort of costs me at least going a bit further in the game, but we'll get to that. So I'll press play. So I go for the quick launch. He lets that through. We go for the tracer. I try to go for Nocto here, just try to, which he Opelousas, which is fine. At least that's one burnt. We go for the abs, just for the free summon. Next play. I then go for the White Rose, which he Opelousas again, so we're getting that done. I then kill the Opelousa, which maybe I shouldn't have tried to commit my battle phase. Maybe I should have tried to do a bit more, but at least that means I have one less monster negate to worry about. We go for the ROM with being ROM 1, Abs 2, getting the Recharger and the Ravine. I'll pause here. I think I went with the Ravine because I was just trying to get as many resources in Grave as possible. So we discard the Nocto, that's useless. He savages. He savages. We go into Link Cross, which he lets through. We then use Link Cross and Hulk, Link Cross and Tracer to go into Hulk, which I think we're forcing another choke point, which he negates. That's fine. Collapse Serpent, which is fine. Going into the Striker, getting the white and Boot Sector. Striker popping one of the tokens to get back the Tracer so I can use it for Boot, I believe. We go for the Protector Whelp. We go for this launch here. And we go into LP and Pisty. Like, and I'll just say, okay, and I'll just sort of stop here. So we've pushed through basically all the negations. We've opened a pretty decent hand to get to this point, and here's where I begin to misplay. So realistically, I probably should have aimed to clear out the Anaconda, not even the Anaconda, like, well, clear out so as much threats as possible. So here I should go for the Levianeer, because at least with the Levianeer I could at least like pop the Savage and the Anaconda. I would then only be left with the Dragoon, which is a threat. But at least it might have got me in the game a bit longer. I could have probably maybe gone through with that, seeing as I at least the only thing I know he has is a Researcher in hand, which you'd most likely have to normal summon. But instead, I go a bit confused. I get a bit confused and try to like make odd plays. So I go for the black metal, which again isn't necessarily terrible because I was so focused on the dragoon. I think my line of play here was going, all right, I can if I get back the uh, if I can get back my Magna Rocket and I can summon something out like say the Union Carrier or maybe another striker to then target the Magna Rocket, I can use Magna Rocket's effect and then send the Dragoon, which is one threat off the board, but then that leave him with the Savage and the Romulus. So I think I was just trying to do I was focusing so much on the Dragoon, it kind of blindsided me to where I just didn't really end on anything that effective because we go for the Seal, we go for Black Metal, go for Pisty, getting back our Tracer, banishing the Pisty, getting back the Metal. So maybe what I should have done here was turn that and that. I think also I didn't have enough material because I was going into, I believe I go into Dill. And what I, if I had an, I think maybe what I should have done, what I was considering was like I could have turned that into Union Carrier. I could have put and I go for the Buster Lock and I go for Savage. But the flaw with going for that is that I still leave two negates on board against one interruption and one negate, which isn't which just will cancel each other out, and you'll see that in a couple minutes. Yeah. Go for the carrier. Pop the token, getting our silver. Going to Savage. Yeah. So we stop him from summoning for the extra deck, but like he has Dragoon, which is insane. He's just going to. He can just. I try to go for Seal to at least try to bait out one something in the draw phase. I go for Seal second effect, maybe hoping he negate that, but he doesn't. We go for the Brotor target Savage, which he negates. Which he negates, which is fine. And then but the problem is he still has the Miracle Rupture, which forces my hand on the Savage negate. And then even if he didn't, he'd still be able to Dragoon for a serious amount of damage. Yeah, I didn't. So I end up losing game one. I think I did okay to get to the point I did with the Guard Dragon side, but I think I just focused too much on Dragoon, and that became a bit of an issue. If you guys could see anything I could have done, please comment it down below. I'm just trying to get better at this, and we'll just move into our game two right now. So I start, and so this is pretty interesting. So I'll show the hand. So I have Seravis, Guard Dragon, Ishatos, Synchron, and Chaos Space, which is again not the greatest, and I can see where people might go. Yeah, Seravis is a bit weird. What maybe should take that out. But so far it's been okay for me. And the Ashatos is because I've decided to be the madman to play Ashatos in this matchup to do a lockout thing to stop my opponent from summoning dragons, which does actually go to fruition, which you'll see. But it's an okay hand. It's not like amazing, but it's basically enough with these to do full combo. My opponent's open Droll was the only hand trap, Miracle Rupture, Tackle Crusader, Emancipator, Researcher, and Analyzer. The Droll like weirdly hurt, but and I just had to sit there to think. But you can play around at least what commonly with Draglink, you can play around at least one hand trap if you've got the right extenders. So we'll get through this. So a normal summon Synchron, go for Striker, get the boot sector, and he draws me there, which makes me a little bit sad, just a little bit. Um, so we bring back the Synchron. We then go into the Hulk. Hulk gets us the Red Rose. And because I'm not sure if he plays any other hand traps, I do this in a bit of a weird order, I think. So I turn the Hulk into Link Cross, getting the 2 tokens, I believe. Yep. Then we go and token that into Herald Rose, getting us the White Rose. Go into LP, using Guard Dragon, moving this way. So we still get to the Guard Dragon arrows. And the best part is here, luckily, I open the Ashatos, which means I don't have to search through the combo, which means I can just try to go for more advantage. So we turn the Tracer into Pisty, convert those into the Protector Whelp, Pisty back the Tracer, turn Tracer into Striker, pop the token to get back the Tracer again, which has been kind of useful. Turn those two into Delinger's Dragon, turn those two into the Reprodocus, go into Shatos, call Rock, so he's now locked out of summoning, special summoning rocks. We then go for Boot, summoning the Tracer, getting back the Dill, turning those into Abomination, popping that to go into that, and we end with the Savage, which I feel, and then we end with this, which I feel is a pretty decent board. We have an Abomination, which is going to destroy something during the end phase. If Herald negates something on, and he has something on board, it's destroyed, though popping the, triggering the Abomination. With a Shatos locking him out of rocks, which is pretty good against that Emancipator, and we have a Savage. 2 negates and a possible interruption during the end phase or battle phase, depending on if he destroys something. So we'll just go through this quickly. He normal summons the Tackle Crusader, attacks over the Herald, and then just goes, yeah, Shatos is disgusting, which I agree with. He just realizes he can't do anything, goes to game three. I side in, I think, absolutely everything. I throw in the Gammas, the Kaijus, the Dark Rulers, the Lancia, just anything. And of course, in a typical fashion, in the 50 card deck, you don't see it. So I think this game is pretty cut and dry. We'll just fast forward through it. She's just going to do standard out emancipator plays. Who knows, guys? Maybe I should have just. I mean, sometimes it happens. You don't see your side deck. So games like these are the things where I've been considering trying to main Dark Ruler instead of say things like Impermanence, because since I'm going first all gas build, having just the Dark Rulers to switch an entire board off and then go off could be very useful. Just going in. This is you see, and this is the weird one. So he goes for the Nap Beast, and I think when I was playing this game, I was like, you know what, this is still an all right hand. If he doesn't Buster Lock me, which is probably a bit of a pipe dream, like bit of a weird one to ask for, but if he doesn't, it's okay. We have Chaos Space, we have the Guard Dragon, we have the Safe for the normal, we have like quite a few things, but this switches off two cards in your hand, which is not ideal. Wasn't expecting that, and I guess since Emancipator has been going through changes, this is one of the new things, which I mean, seems to be pretty good. Fast forward again, just random Emancipator plays. Discards that, goes for Guardian. I think he realizes that he should have, like, he didn't use his Rap-Tights effect before going off, so he takes a play back. I mean, it didn't really matter. To say I'm still in a really losing position, so I was like, fine, go for the boot. He negates that. I go for the normal summon, attack into the Anaconda. We try to use safer to get maybe the Legionnaire, and we just lose there. I mean, it's a loss, but I hopefully the game was. It showed me some of the things I need to like get better at, and like sort of my decision making. It shows that the Ashatos play is still disgusting, and sometimes you don't open the hand traps or thing side that you need. So we'll move on to the next game. So I believe this one is against like Mech Knight invoked Numeron things. Yep. So pause here. So my opponent goes first. Open, and again, I think he chose to go first as well. Like this is what weirded me out, and he just goes with he has an infinite droplet Ghost Ogre. I mean, this is a pretty good. It's pretty. Those are pretty good interruption, but he has no like live play. I mean, wait a minute. Like he maybe could have done something, but I don't know the composition of the deck. Like he has the Ghost Ogre, he maybe could have normaled it, made Al Mirage, set up a zone, carried on that way. I don't know what he's playing, but seemingly he just didn't have anything. And I've opened Nocto, Black Metal, Synchron, Magna Rocket, and White Rose. Like it's a pretty decent hand. We have starter, extender, possible extender as long as we get to this boot sector, and two rockets to summon off the boot sector. It's pretty good. So he just sets two, passes. We draw the white as well, which is just beautiful. So we go for Striker, Black Metal, Nocto, pretty standard things. Going for the standard Romulus, drawing the Guard Dragon, again drawing another extender. Um, this is why I enjoy just playing as many as possible, so you can hopefully push through what your opponent does. We go for the Divine Lance. He lets me Divine Lance. He then decides to Ogre the Phalanx, which, okay, so he stops me there, and I agree using a Ghost Ogre somewhere around here is correct, although I probably would have done it on the Divine Lance because it doesn't allow me to get a dragon anywhere there. Like it's a dragon and getting the Phalanx, because the Phalanx is a dragon and a tuner, and if I have the right extender, in this case something like, I don't know, World Legacy Guard Dragon, apart from my incredibly stacked hand already, it just allows me to carry on. So I probably would have Ghost Ogre the Divine Lance in the situation because it keeps the Phalanx in deck. The Phalanx is a bit of a brick if you open it. It leaves less access to dragons for me. But I can sort of see why he would have done it. So here we go. We Guard Dragon, bring it back. Go for the Link Cross effects. He imperms that. It's fine. We go for the LP because we might as well just go for it. We can move the zones. Go for Guard Dragon. move it, and then he goes for here, and then he goes for the forbidden drop. But look at this hand. Like he can see the writings on the wall. I'm still gonna go through. I have like what 6 cards or something in hand. It's insane. So yeah, Dragon Link boys. It's sometimes you can play through 3 hand traps. Sometimes you can play through none. But we'll see what happens in the next game. So we even have a bit of a discussion here, like showing like where do you hit this? I think everything he uses interruptions on were correct, but when you have so many extenders, so much gas, it's just pretty hard. It's going to be hard. A bit more of a discussion of like playing a deck that didn't get hit. I mean, he makes some interesting points. If you want to read that, it's all there for you. We'll just go for a play. Next play. So I believe my opponent starts again. Okay, so he just opens the calling and the network. So he goes for, what he wants. He goes for the Zexal. That's pretty much it. I mean, and for my hand, I mean, we've opened Safer, Nocto, Magna Rocket, Ravine, and um, 1 for 1. So again, this is a pretty decent opening, but he's a smart guy. He's not going to shotgun the Zexal while I have nothing on board with Gamma running about. He even sort of mentions it there. Yeah. So I try my best to like bait him in some way, like hoping he might do it on the abs. I was like, I go for the tracer here. So I was gonna go for safer, and but the minute I summon the safer, he just uses the Zexal. I can't do anything. So I thought, okay, I kind of want to clear the Zexal because he can slow my turns down, and I saw Mech Knight. He could probably try to. He might go in. So I go with if I go for Tracer, he can shotgun the Zexal, I can chain Tracer, pop the Ravine, getting out another rocket. I kind of wish I opened Striker Dragon so I didn't have to necessarily go into the play that I necessarily did, but again, we'll see what happens. So we get out the uh, Recharger, go for the Savage Dragon, and we just kill the Zexal. We're like, I just don't want to deal with it. Again, it's probably a misplay. I probably shouldn't have done. I should have saved it, but I'm like, Safer could pop it back next turn. He's a 3k body. We'll go in for it. Now he shows the invoke side of it. Like goes for his Mech Knight plays. Goes off purple. Goes into the Almirage and then Mechaba, and he's like going to game 3, but I want him to show me as much of his deck as possible. Really, like here on, especially here on the Anaconda, like he could set Red Eyes Fusion. He's sent Neos Fusion, which is good information to know that he's playing. But like, I want to see what he goes for. You want as much information as possible. This is game 2, and going into game 3, I just feel it's good to let your opponent play things out. He even goes like, I still let him do all the damage and everything. I just want to see if he does anything different. And we lose game 2. We go into game 3. And we open a pretty yikes hand. We have the Imperm, Guard Dragon, Cyclone, Safer, and Guard Dragon. Don't really want to see 2 of these, but it's still an extender, and we've had a little bit of interruption. The Safer's our only starter, it's our only line, so I'm a bit hesitant because I'm pretty sure I can get hand trapped. I was gonna get like if I get hand trapped, it's over. But we got to play with what we got to play with. So go for the Safert, get the Black Dragon, go for Striker, get White, get Boot. Looking at it, he only has an Nibiru in his hand is not great with all the Mech Knights he opened. And to be fair, I probably should lose this game, but then obviously, like I'm going through all the motions. He keeps going. And you'll see what my opponent responds with in a bit. I think so. Again, we go for our standard plays, Marcher into this. We go for the Hulk. He lets us get to there, and then he lets us go here, Rose, and then he just scoops because he says he forgot to Nibiru me. Like it's not the most exciting end, and maybe he should have done Nibiru's, but I think we could have possibly played through it, but we won that game. This one was just again to show just the more of the combos and an interesting deck going forward. And I'll move into our last game, which I think it is a Dragon Link mirror match actually. So we go for Dark Nox, who explains to me that he's just picked up the deck. He's starting off the rule. I think so he's playing the 60 cards to my 50. So just looking at our hands, so he's opened Abs Router, Nibiru, Tracer, Safer, and Red Eyes. I mean, so basically he's opened basically the full combo with this. He has the Tracer, which is already nice, and he has an Abs Router as a bit of an extender or a good discard outlet and a hand trap. Bit dead, but what can you do? And I open the Phalanx, which is pretty awful, but we've opened Chaos Space to dump either of these two. We have the Nocto to chain block, and we've opened two Rockets, which is again good for boot sector. So I'm feeling fairly confident, depending on what he's playing. Um, so we'll sort of try to breeze through this a bit more. Since it was first time, I think he was going for. It turns out I think it was meant to be the VFD one, like the one popularized by Xu Ping. At least from what I saw. We'll go through it quickly. So he goes for the Garden Rose Maiden, gets the Rose Dragon, goes for Appaloosa, goes for that. And then we'll slow it down a bit more here. So if you're interested in watching this build and possibly seeing the mistakes, again, if he is, because it doesn't show me as extra, if he is playing the Calamities build, so up to here is pretty good. So goes for that, he gets himself a Tracer. He goes for the Pisty, brings back the Brotor. That's fine. He activates Black Garden here, which I think was the first mistake. And then he also goes for Dill, which is the second one if he's going for the Calamities play. Because he now goes for the Levianeer, summons another token, and takes a card out of my hand. Which one does he take? He takes the Nocto, which is a bit sad, but it happens. So I think if he's meant to be going for the VFD play, he was meant to summon out the um, keep the Elpian Piston on board, summon out the Levianeer. I think he then activates the Black Garden, then makes the Fusion Trish, banishes Tempest, gets the um, uh, Crusadia Draco, special summons the Draco, and then those process he generates two tokens. And then he's meant to also have Tracer in the grave, so he can bring back the Tracer. But again, he doesn't have that either, so that's another point at which he misplays. He tries to resolve it. I'm like, you can't. Again, so he misplays a bit, but I mean, he still has Appaloosa, the Union Carrier, the Tracer out, brings back Dill, like goes for Verte Anaconda, pops it, gets this, gets Savage, and goes for Dragoon. Like, I'm looking at this going, how does he have room for everything? Like, he has the Dragoon package. I think he was going for the VFD thing. If he's not, and he's maybe doing a different Black Garden combo, if you guys know what it is, I'd be happy to hear it down in the comments. Just I'm liking to learn what all variants of Dragon Link do. But like, this just seems so much stuff. I don't know how he fits it all in. Um, and he goes for the Buster Lock. And I'm here going, yeah, we're not playing through that. He hasn't seen what I've played, so we might as well just keep it a secret and move to the next game. I think this is the game where I play the Ashatos package, and you go, but you're playing Dragon Link. Why would you do it? I mean, sometimes it just works out for you. So we'll see what happens. Showing our opening hands again. I mean, we've opened Chaos Space, uh, Recharger, Boot Sector, Ravine, and Levianeer. It's not amazing, but Chaos Space plus a Dark is fine. And he's opened Ravine, Guard Dragon, Quick Launch, Black Metal, and Safer. You see, I kind of wish I had that hand, but it's still workable, the one I have. So we'll Chaos Space with Levianeer because we can always put it back with Chaos Space if we need it. We're just going to go through the standard combo play, so we might pick this up a little bit more. So we have our double boot. We banish the Chaos Space to put back the Levianeer to get to, of course, draw the Divine Lance, which makes me sad because we can't search that off the Romulus. But on the slight upside, it means we don't have to activate Romulus, which would possibly like lose to Ghost Ogre or Gamma. So that's fine. So we Divine Lance, get out the Phalanx, go through all the standard combo you've seen before. Go for this. Metal Marcher, bring it back. I assumed he would have hand trapped us by now, so we start going in. We go for the Hulk, go for Red Rose, turn to the Herald, get the White Rose, do LP Pisty. We go for the Nocto so we can draw one, and we'll pause it there. So we go for the Nocto so we can draw one. We get something, Rocket Synchron, which is decent to discard. We activate the Ravine because to do the Ashatos play, you need to either you need to have the Brotor in rotation, either getting it off LP. In this case, we're doing Ravine by discarding the Synchron we drew, which gets banished, and sending/banishing the LP. So realistically, I should have probably done that a little bit before the Herald, just so I didn't banish the Synchron, which is just nice for the boot sector, but it works out pretty much. So we discard the boot sector. We have spares, get the Ashatos. Go for the next play. We go for Dill. The upside with this bit is that we don't have to go for the Reprodocus because we're calling dragons anyway. So we turn those into the Abomination. We go for Boot, summon out the Recharger, go for the Union Carrier, banish the 3 you need, go for the Buster Lock on Ashatos and call Ashatos, calling Dragon, pretty much ruining this man's day. So putting on the pause, we have Abomination, which is currently 3k and can pop something during the end phase. We have the Buster Lock going on the Ashatos, which can be destroyed by card effects and is now 4k, which is pretty decent. And we have a negation bait in Herald. And he draws into an evenly, which is kind of nice, but we have the Herald for it, obviously. Evenlies, Herald effects, getting a Stravish just to add that extra layer of protection. He realizes he can't play through it, and we scoops. So again, I love the Ashatos play just for winning like game 2s or game 3s, just to get you back into it. Now we move into this game. We again, we throw in like, I don't know what, like 10 to 11 like side deck cards. We again see none of them in 50 cards, and you're just like, it happens. Sometimes that's the way Yu-Gi-Oh goes. We'll just fast forward through this. He has full combo. There's not really much to do. And I assume again, I thought he'd go in full combo, but no. Since he drew the Phalanx, he goes off to a different route, I think. Um, I think. I think he's just. I can't even tell if he's trying to be conservative or not. Like he's just throwing out. He's throwing out everything. Goes into the cube. Goes for the smoke grenade. Banishes 3 darks with the Levianeer, gets a card out of my hand. So I was actually thinking I'd be okay with this hand if he doesn't again Buster Lock me, but he goes for the double hand rip, which is pretty weird. Goes for the Appaloosa, goes for that, goes for Savage, and okay, and he hits the Brotor out of my hand, which I personally found a bit odd, like, because I don't know. So tell me, which one would you hit? I personally think it would be I would hit the quick launch because it gets me to the Tracer. I mean, realistically, he has Savage anyway, which is, I guess, fair enough, so we can negate it with that or the Herald. But like, I feel that quick launch is much more of a threat because it gets me any rocket I need. It gets me a tuner. It just felt better. Like Brotor isn't realistically going to do much in my head. And looking at my hand, it is the way it is now. I have essentially 3 normal summons. Um, but it still works out for him. But I just personally feel quick launch is better. What do you guys think? Um, and we draw into the Guard Dragon, which which we look at this game, we look at this hand like it's not great, but we're gonna try our way to go through. We kill the Herald, which gets one less negate off the board. Go for the Striker, goes for Absolusa. We go for the Guard Dragon. Again, we use it, go for the LP. Again, we lose from that, and we just go into the Seal, hoping to do something. We just waited out to see what he has. He goes for Safer, goes for the Collapse Serpent, goes for Black, goes for LP. We try to go for the Seal and the LP. He negates. We go for our Seal. We go for Abs Router. He goes for Pisty. Like, yeah, this is pretty much writing on the wall for us. We, yeah, he just explained that he can do it because he probably summoned the Levineer, so it's fine. Like, yeah, it goes for Abs. He negates that with Savage, and we're going, maybe we have a chance, possibly, but nah, we draw, I just look at this, and he quits after, ending this way. We'll just try to clear it. So he quits. He obviously has won this game, I think. Like, as long as he still has, and he didn't side out, like, say, the Union Carrier and things, just turn these, you can convert these away to Dill, turn the Union Carrier, put the Savage out. I would have drawn Black Metal, which would give me a fair shot, but I didn't think it would really do that much. But yeah, guys, so that's it for the sort of first sort of installment of this series. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let us know down below what you think. Anything out of the games I could have done better. Just general, I enjoy getting you guys' feedback. Sorry I'm a bit rambly. This is my first time kind of doing this kind of thing, and hopefully we'll get it better for the next time. But anyway, thanks. Like, comment, subscribe like always, and hopefully see you in the next one.
Shh, not a zombie channel.